Welcome, everyone. I'm going to be talking about how to sell on Amazon in 2022. If you're watching this live, do me a favor, head over to the chat and let me know you're here, where you're watching from. We'll get this thing started. I've got a lot of stuff to go over. I, spent some time today working out some notes on what I've learned over the past 5 years, what I would do differently, exactly the structure that I would start. So we're going to be going over all that. So I look forward to teaching you guys what I know. Most of it's just my opinion and what I've learned personally working on my own business, but looking forward to hearing from you guys. Nevin said, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Just give me a second to organize everything while everyone's getting in here. I've got all kinds of crazy contraptions over here. I've got like a laptop mounted up on my speaker, list of stuff, computer over here. We're doing a lot. I might have to change this, man. I'm wearing a kimono right now. The sleeves keep getting caught on my chair. Hey, what's going on, Ishan? Hopefully I said that correctly. How many people we got in here? I'm like such a rookie at streaming right now. So we'll get this thing started pretty soon. Just give it a minute for some people to get in here. Sam said, what's up? How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for commenting. Let me know in the chat where you guys are from, where you're watching from. I'd love to know that. Matt said, hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for hopping in. Milwaukee, Buffalo. I've been to New York. I've never been to Milwaukee. Steven said, hey, what's going on, everybody? Like I said, bear with me. Give me 5 minutes. Here from Chicago. That's what's up. I'd love to go to Chicago someday. Give me 5 minutes to just let people get in here and organize my thoughts and the chat and everything. From Cali. That's what's up. A lot of taxes there. Maybe this is going to work. There we go. All right, cool. I think I've got it all figured out. Sorry for the delay and the. You know what? I'm not sorry. It's all good. Just having some fun. I got a lot to go through today, so I'm just gonna start getting into it. Feel free to ask questions at any point. I'll be checking on the chat. You see me looking over here. I'm looking at some notes, or the chat. Looking over here. I'm working on what I'm sharing. So I'm be going over how to sell on Amazon, what I've learned. Let me know in the chat too. Do I go live every week? No, not here. Not on YouTube. I haven't gone live on YouTube in years. And then if you're watching the playback and you're wondering who I'm talking to the chat. All right. So, first thing we're going to cover is literally from the ground up. If I was starting right now, what would I do? I would make an LLC first. That'd be the first thing I would do. I have 2 LLCs technically now, and it's not intimidating at all. So I'll show you how to set that up and start your actual business, because just the tax savings alone from starting an LLC is ridiculous. once you structure it as an S corp. And again, I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not here to give advice on taxes, but one of the many benefits aside from liability, and it's just it's life changing. I can't believe there was ever a time where I didn't have an LLC and I considered being a sole proprietor, because it's awesome. You have a LLC with a good accountant, which is not very expensive, you're going to be saving a ton of money. Do me a favor, if you're watching the stream right now, we have people watching and only one like. Can you like the stream? It'll help get it out to more people, get more people in here so we could have an awesome chat. And yeah, that would be awesome. Great, thank you so much. I see the likes coming in now. I'm gonna pour myself a drink, and then we're gonna go switch scenes and move over into the computer. What time is it where you are right now? For me, it's a little past 6. What type of markets do you look for? Oh, we're gonna get into that. We have a huge checklist of stuff we're gonna be going through. Like at least 20 things. Cheers. All right. Desktop, here we go. So first thing we're gonna do, just a quick reminder, is we're gonna be using Inkfile because I think it's less expensive than LegalZoom, and I'm a big fan of less expensive. So click through. If you want to use my link, you can. I get a commission from that, so that's awesome. Good way to support me if you like my videos and stuff. Come in here, and this is Inkfile. Literally, within 20 minutes, you can have an LLC built. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I assume a lot of you guys already have an LLC. But if you're watching this, a complete beginner, this is a great place to start. I literally have a YouTube video of me when I'm like 18 years old saying I just started my first LLC on this channel. So you go to start my business, select the state you live in, build your LLC out. That's pretty much it. From there, there's basically LLC creation, and then there's software that you're going to need. So there's like this basic essential kit that you need to start an e-commerce business, right? You need the business itself, and then you need the tools to get you selling, etc. So Jungle Scout is not mentioned a whole lot these days, but I like it, right? Because it's a cheap alternative. It's funny that I should say alternative because they were like the main ones forever. But Jungle Scout's awesome. Helium 10 is awesome. Pick the one that you want, whichever one's more in your budget. If you've seen way more videos discussing Helium 10, go ahead and pick Helium 10. You've seen more videos with Jungle Scout, pick that if you feel like you're familiar with it. Either one is going to do what you want it to do, but central toolkit is you need an LLC, you need like a product research software, you need some sort of keyword management, Amazon software. So Jungle Scout or Helium 10. Do you guys have any questions at this point? I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with the chat. Feel free to let me know if you've got any questions. Here we are. This is what I've been looking for the whole time. How long is this live? I'll probably be going for 75, 80 minutes. What are you drinking? Feel free to guess. All right, cool. That's all that was new in the chat. I specifically look for enthusiast markets. I know that's kind of a broad statement, but let me show you what I mean by that. So I've opened up this tab, and everyone always, like, my biggest complaint I get when people work with me one-on-one or something like that is, hey, I'm here because I don't know how to find a product. I don't know how to pick a market. I don't know how to figure out who I'm going to sell to, what I'm going to sell them. This is really a great resource that's completely free. You can just look up a list of hobbies, and anyone that is doing a hobby, pursuing a hobby, is usually an enthusiast customer. Excuse me. Bowling. I have this rule of thumb. It's kind of funny. If you add ER to any hobby, it's pretty much a customer. So a bowler, a surfer, tennis player. Sometimes you have to modify it a little bit. It doesn't work perfectly. But you really want that specific person, right? So when you're starting on Amazon, the old way of doing things was I'm going to find a product and I'm going to just sell that product and make it slightly different than the ones that currently exist on Amazon. But really the new way of selling on Amazon, it's not really new, it's just what you should have been doing all along, what I should have been doing all along, but it takes some time to learn these things. So we got to cut ourselves some slack somewhere. Is who are you selling to and what are you going to sell them? And then why are they going to buy from you? Now let me get off this stupid page so we stop getting all of these ads and weird things on the screen. So these 4 questions will take you a very long way when starting your brand on Amazon. Who is my customer? That's the first thing you have to figure out. You can use a hobbies list to figure out who your customer is. So you can put any one of these things. So we could go rock climber, right? We could go fisherman. You could get more specific, say fly fisherman. We could do makeup artist, right? It goes on and on and on. You could be the customer yourself too. So why do a lot of entrepreneurs start doing what they're doing, and why do a lot of businesses create products? Because you were in pain at some point trying to figure something out. It was hard for you to do something. You thought, if only there was a product that can make this easier. Most products stem from that kind of environment, right? You were in pain, you were hurting, you came up with a solution to a problem you had within your business or within something that you were working on. And then that's the product that was born out of that situation. So knowing who your customer is and knowing why they're buying that product is one of the key things you need to know before you start selling, right? Don't just jump to Jungle Scout, do product research, go, oh, here's my product, I'm going to sell this. Try and figure out who it is and then figure out what you're going to sell to them. So with that being said, enthusiast customers are important for a majority of reasons, but people in the live chat, do me a favor and list out why you think it's important to have someone who's passionate about the market you're going to be in as your customer, and not just a mundane product like a sponge being sold or like a rack, a shelf, something like that. Let me know why you think that might be. And if you're watching this as a replay and this isn't live anymore, feel free to go in the comments and participate like it is. There's some tasks that I want you guys to do throughout this call, or I guess it's kind of like a call throughout this live stream that I feel like are going to help you. At the end of the day, these are just lessons that I learned that helped me, but they might help you out a lot. I don't see anyone coming through in the chat just yet. Winter said hi. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for commenting, hopping in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Feel free, talk to each other, talk to me in the chat. I'd love to see that thing blowing up. It's one of the reasons I like to go live here. It is rare, but when I do, it's really fun. So feel free to ask me questions and keep the conversation rolling in there. So picking your first product, right? Choose your customer. Who is the person you're going to be selling to? It's important to have an enthusiast customer. Kinetic said creates an emotional attachment that lasts longer. Love that. Better opportunities to build brand loyalty. Okay. I really like those answers. Those are good. You guys must be reading a lot about brand building, because yeah, that's the emotional attachment. I would say change out the word attachment for relationship. You want to build a relationship with the person that you're selling your product to, so that they want to come back to you again and again. Why do you go to the coffee shop you go to? Might be because the coffee's good, but it's probably because you know the people in there. Why do you go to a certain brand that you sell for, or you buy supplements from? Probably because you heard about them on a podcast and the owner was on there talking about it, etc. Let's see what this looks like a good question. Sam said, say you have a market, but within the market there are different types of customers. Are you building a brand that speaks to all of them, or only a certain type of customer? I would say You need to refine who your customer is and what your market is. It sounds like you don't have you should be able to give them one name, right? It should be, I'm selling to fly fishermen. I'm not selling to people who fish from boats in the ocean, just selling to the one specific person. So it sounds like your market's too broad. I would specify in a more direct way who it is you're selling to, and what it is that you're solving. So let's keep rolling here. I've got a lot to go through. Bear with me for a second. Just need to check some stuff off that we've already talked to and keep plugging away. How are you guys enjoying the stream so far? This is like kind of new to me. I haven't done this in a while. All right. So pick what you're going to sell to them. I think that's where we need to pick up from. So what are you going to sell to them? So you've looked at your list of hobbies. You've picked a few different enthusiast customers, and then you came over here and you listed them out. Now, what am I going to sell to them? For each one of them, create a list of products. Now, let's do this for fly fishermen. Okay, that's something that I'm familiar with, and you'll see that throughout the stream. So we could have like pliers, hooks, fly tying vise, bags, hats, sun protection. The list goes on and on, right? So the key here, and why I want you to do it in this order, is that if you can't list 5, it's not the right market and you're not being specific enough. Your customer should need all of these things. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started, by the way, everyone who's watching, if you care. I started nearly 5 years ago and I was just selling random stuff. I didn't have any idea of who the customer at the end of the tunnel was, who was buying from me, didn't really matter. Of course, in listing some of those products, there was an enthusiast customer, but I had no idea what their intentions of, what they wanted were, what kind of lives they lived were, what they valued. So the next part of what you're going to sell to them is researching your customer so that you truly understand them. So you can pick any one of these products and make it work, but the one that I want you to focus on is what I call the keystone product. Don't let me forget that. Let me pick up with that in a second. I asked because the example by Ryan Moran, Black Rifle Coffee and Bulletproof Coffee, both brands sell coffee. They're just targeting a different person within that market. Speaks to all of them or only a certain type? Yeah, but that's a specific person, Sam, right? Black Rifle Coffee, I love this example. I've examined this brand deeply. Sells to veterans, to patriots, to conservatives, we can say, to the man's man, right? Like people who shoot guns. Like that's one person. We can all picture that person. The guy with the pickup truck with the American flag on it, with the M16 bumper sticker, right? That's who buys Black Rifle Coffee. That's their customer. And across the country, there's 1 million or 2 million people like that. Probably a lot more actually, probably 10 million people like that. And they can continuously buy their product. So all they have to do is go, hey, we understand you. We agree with you. In fact, we're going to align our whole brand with this. We're going to donate a percentage of our profits to veterans, etc. And all of our packaging is going to look super cool. That's really what your brand is, by the way. It's your packaging, your storytelling, and the size of your list. And yeah, I love that question. That's a really good question. So how can I select the product category which I want to sell from India? I have no idea about selling from India. Probably go to a forum or somewhere else for that one. Is this going to be saved? Yeah, it should be saved. If you're not brand registered, you still have your brand name on your package, right? Yeah, you can, but there's really no point. I guess there might be a point. That might be too broad of a statement, but you want to be brand registered. That's a really key factor for selling on Amazon. It's worth the money to get the trademark. And awesome. So keystone product. I told you not to let me forget it, but I didn't forget it. So which one of these products is going to be the one that goes down the line and gets them to buy all of the other ones, right? So all of these are somewhat related, but I would say sun protection for fly tying, like gloves that you might wear because your hands are out all day if you're on the river, would be a different category than fly tying vise. So I probably wouldn't sell fly tying vise and then sun protection and hats. This would almost be its own brand right here. It's like the accessories to being outdoors. And then the fly tying vise I just did something wrong. The fly tying vise might be something in and of itself, right? Mitchell, what's going on, buddy? Give me a second to look at the chat here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Maybe a sombrero hard hat? Who's that customer? Sup, Paul? Started watching videos 2 years ago and finally started selling 3 months ago. Things are going great thanks to your videos. That is so awesome. Love hearing that. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just do this camera. There we go. Just want to take a second to look at the chat and answer everyone. Make sure everything's going well with the chat. Just got to check up on connection here and everything. All right, cool. So you got like 20 people in here. All right, looks good. Back in we go. So once you pick your customer and you pick your keystone product would be the one thing that can lead to 5 more things. So let's do that example. So we have fly tying vise, then we have hooks for tying on, then we have a bobbin. This is like really nerdy stuff that I know about fishing that you guys might not know. You might have like, let me look, I got a bunch of stuff over there, like scissors, right? Point is, you can go on from the main thing that you need to get started to 5 more things that they might need and want from you if you make that first thing really well. Same thing goes over here, right? Say we do the sun protection gloves that are just killer. They're water resistant. They don't start to smell after a while if you've touched a bunch of fish, like they have maybe copper in them, etc. Then you move on to the hat that's made out of the same material, and from the hat like comes the bag, and then there's like accessories for the hat. That's the line that I want you to be thinking in, because yes, who's our customer? Fly fishermen, which is already a niche of fishermen. And then what am I going to sell to them? I'm going to sell to them a specific item that they use, and I'm going to be the best at selling that one thing. Sombrero hard hat equals stylish hard hat with sun protection. That's $1 million brand. It's either $1 million brand or cultural appropriation. We'll have to we'll have to come back to that one. I would think about that a little more. All right, so say you find your customer, you find your product. Now you have to go figure out why they're going to buy from you. And this is my favorite part of brand building, right? This is, why are you better? There's a really good quote that says, it's easy to be different. It's very hard to be better. Very simple quote, but I like that, right? Because everyone on Amazon, if we just like went over to Amazon.com, we looked up creatine, every single one of these is technically different, right? There is most likely cultural appropriation. Yeah. It's really easy to just have different packaging and be different. They're all essentially the same thing. What can we really change here? We can change price. We can change the amount that we're selling in there, the quantity, etc. But at the end of the day, it's a great example. Pat on my own back. Good example, because it's literally the same product, right? Creatine is one thing. If there's not other things included that's dumbing it down, it's literally just one thing. So all of these different products, there's not really much that we have done to be better here. We've just become different with different packaging. So what are some ways that we could become better? Well, we have to go figure out what people are saying. So this is when we go to bodybuilding forums. We go to nutritional blogs. We go to peer-reviewed peer-reviewed studies and figure out like what creatine is the most effective and why is that one the most effective. There's really endless ways of doing this. One of my favorite ways would be, and I like cornering people with this question, have you read every review on Amazon? Now ratings is different. There's 36,000 ratings. That's not all reviews. Like written reviews, there's maybe 1,000 or something on this listing, maybe a little more. Go read everything everyone's saying. Like these are the customers who are buying the product that you're potentially going to be selling. Their insight is invaluable. You need to know what they're saying. You need to know what angle they're coming from, right? If I asked you, hey, you're selling creatine, Are you selling it to bodybuilders? Are you selling it to vegans for brain performance? Are you selling it to people who are trying to bulk up? Like, who is it specifically, right? So I might sound like a broken record here, but if you don't know who your customer is, what they're buying, and why your product is better, then you need to go back to the square one and start from scratch. Seriously, do this now. If you're an Amazon seller and you're thinking about launching another product, or you're looking at the products you currently have and trying to figure out where to go from there, where to scale, how well do you know your customer? If I was to quiz you, pop quiz, 20 questions about your customer, how well do you think you'd do? I want you to go back and start learning about your customer no matter what point you're at. And then, how do I know I'm right? This is a really good question from Ray Dalio in his book Principles, where he proposes the idea that just because you have an opinion doesn't make you right. Everyone might be able to say, I think this because, but if your because is not grounded in reality, it doesn't matter at all, right? So you could come up with this whole business plan, but if it's built on lies, it doesn't matter, right? Because that's not actually what your customer wanted. You were looking at paid reviews. You didn't look in enough places. You were just looking at Amazon customers. You weren't looking at customers that buy from GNC and different supplement companies and things that they might want. And you didn't go to the forums, and you didn't read people's insight. You didn't survey your customer. You didn't ask questions. You don't know if you're right. So basically, these 4 questions are a great place to get you started. Check in on the chat again. Looks like there's nothing new. Let me know if you have a question about anything that I've said up to this point now. We got 20 people watching. Do me a favor and leave a like on the live stream if you could. If you're in here watching now, let me know you're in here and active. That'd be awesome. All right, cool. So moving on. If you have a question and it pops up, I'll come back to it. So sourcing your products. There's, of course, the age-old one, Alibaba, right? Everyone knows about Alibaba, but I would encourage you to start locally. Can you create a barrier to entry? This is something that my business partner loves talking about, is like, what is it that we're doing that might stop a competitor from being able to do the same thing? And that's a really good question, because you don't want to spend 6 months building a brand, just have someone come in and do the same thing for less. That's why I hate the original model of private label at this point, because it's just like anyone can go to Alibaba, make the same changes you just made, and cut your price in half, and they don't care that they're only going to make 6% profit margin. They're willing to do that so they can get ranked. That's what's going to happen. So I think sourcing in the US is a great option. Let me know in the chat, have you guys tried sourcing in the US, and what are some questions I might be able to help you with, because I have successfully done this. This is difficult, but worth it. So for instance, say we were going to do fishing as our niche, right? Just put the general word in here, fishing, fishing equipment and supplies, and see who we have. Rubber bands for the commercial fishing industry, supplier of fishing equipment and supplies, including containers, bobbers, lures, hats, etc. They're based in Texas. That's awesome. Excuse me. Manufacturer of thin wick wire fishing tool. Manufacturer of fishing equipment from Florida. Let's click on one of these. If we go to visit website, eventually it will load. Sometimes they're professional, sometimes they're not. Doesn't matter. Just go down to their contact us page and ask them if they have what you're looking for. Usually it's pretty easy to know right off the bat if they're going to be able to do it for you. And I would say my best tip with US sourcing is don't get discouraged and spend a month doing it before you give up. Do you still order your product from China, or is it all from the US. It's all from the US, Christian. Good question. I technically have like 80 units left of my last product that came from China, and then I will never be ordering from China again. Okay, thanks. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Give me 1 second. Let me check off some things we've talked about. So sourcing. Okay. Other than ThomasNet, when you're trying to find your product, the next thing that you could do would be to look on Google. If you're trying to source a fly fishing vise or fly tying vise, look up fly tying vise manufacturer. It's really straightforward and simple. It's not always easy, but if you look through all 50 pages of ranking, you might be able to find something. And then going from there, we have creating your brand. So once you know what you're going to sell, who you're going to sell to, 5 additional things you can sell based off that first product you choose, and why you're right based on doing research of your customer on forums and on social media and on Amazon reviews. You can move forward to creating your actual brand. So don't create your brand. I think one of the problems that a lot of people make is they make their brand somewhere in the beginning of this process. It's like we're way back here at setting up our LLC, and somehow people think like, oh, I need to have my brand made now. I need to trademark my company now. No. You have to figure out what you're doing first, right? So like people kind of mess up the order of some of these things. That's why I kind of wanted to do this stream, is because when you're building your business, that's different than your brand. And a lot of people don't even understand that. It's not necessarily your fault if you don't understand that. I had a lot of those similar confusions in the beginning too. But it is different either way. So you're trademarking your brand name, and your brand name is the thing that's related to your marketplace. The company name can be anything. It can be Paul's Company, LLC. And the brand name can be entirely different. It could be related to fishing, like, Paul's Fishing Company. Now that's a silly example, but you would want it to have more to do with your customer and why they're going to be buying from you. So in that sentence, there was actually some buried wisdom. And that would be the idea of value proposition within your brand name. I know you've been talking about making a custom product for your brand, but what do you do if your product doesn't allow for customization and is very simple? Look at the example of Black Rifle Coffee we were talking about earlier. They didn't change the product. They changed the way that they're delivering the product, the packaging. They changed the storyline around it. They changed the content that they're sharing and the stance that they're taking. So if your product's incredibly simple, I actually know this and I relate to this because my product is very incredibly simple. There's not a lot to change. Most of why we're going to succeed will be our branding, our marketing, etc., our storytelling. So get really good at knowing who your customer is and how to relate to them, right? Because even looking at this from a personal branding standpoint, right? Like, why are you watching my YouTube video right now from my personal brand, Paul J. Savage? Because maybe you relate to me in the way that I say things, or the fact that I don't try and sell you guys stuff all the time. Like, there's something there that's simple. What I might be covering might be similar to the guy next to me making Amazon videos, but yet you're here. So don't overlook the power of connection, relationship building with that customer, knowing who they are and relating to them. So are sea shipping quotes accurate around this time of year? Like, I'm seeing fast port quotes for 17 to 25 days. Then it says 45 to 60 for most companies total time to warehouse. I don't know this year specifically, but I've never got a sea shipment in 17 days, my friend. I would say 30 is the fastest. So when you choose your product and get it from your US seller, they have the patent, right? So you don't get in trouble later to line with that issue. Most likely you wouldn't be selling something that's patented. If you design something, you can patent it yourself. Broke that down perfectly. Thank you. Yeah, of course. That's why I'm here. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask. Like Sam's asking intuitive questions. Christian is asking specific questions. I'm really looking forward to helping you guys, so don't be shy. All right, trademark lawyer. So trademarking your brand name. The brand name, again, this is simple, but it's complex. Mitchell's in the chat, or he was at some point. He took a long time to make his brand name because I kept hounding him. I was like, hey, it's not perfect yet, right? It's not there yet. It doesn't tell me what it is. And that's what I want from a brand name. The same way you want your main image on Amazon to tell the customer exactly what you've done that's better than the next listing next to it and why they should click on it. All of that's being said with just an image, no words, right? You have to do the same thing with your brand name. it should be one of those like, ah, I get it. Like that's funny, or like it's intuitive, it's catchy. I see what you're doing there. Now, don't think of the like classic big companies like Apple and Tesla and Pepsi. To a certain degree, like those don't necessarily connect to it. They might connect to it in kind of a weird intellectual way that like someone can make an argument for. But I would say if you're making a niche specific brand, make your brand name tell the customers right away what you've improved or what your angle is to that market. So the example that I like would be, what was it? That's ironic. I forgot it. It's I want to say delicious superfoods. Maybe that's it. I nutritious superfoods. It's something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it tells you what the product is, right? So it's like it's something that's good for you and it tastes good. That's a company that Rob Deerdeck invested in, and if you don't know who that is, go check him out. He has awesome business stuff. But anyway, you've trademarked your product. Don't mind me. I keep looking over here to make sure we're going through the checklist. Just want to be organized for you guys. All right, apply for brand registry. Brand registry is huge because it allows you to do a lot of things. For one thing, see all the analytics on the back end. You also get to create awesome enhanced brand content on your listings, make better listings, create better ads, etc. The huge thing that allows you to do is because you've trademarked your brand name, if someone ever does say, hey, we're selling the same thing, aka they go into your buy box and they're trying to sell the product for $6 less than you, you can just get them kicked out right away. Christian asked if this video would be on the channel because you missed the beginning. It should be, unless something goes catastrophically wrong and I decide not to upload it, but it should be. Once you've secured. Okay, so at this point, you've discovered who you're selling to, what you're going to be selling to them. You've discovered what change you're going to be making to that product based on what the customer thinks about that product. You've developed a brand name and well, I didn't say this, create a logo. You've created a logo for it. Now maybe you've moved into manufacturing, right? The person you found that can make the product, you've told them, hey, let's get the presses running. Let's start building this thing. Traditionally, what I would do in that time is nothing, right? I was like, oh, private label's so easy. It's so passive. I don't have to do anything for the next 30 days, right? Like, nice. Manufacturer's doing all the work now. No, this is the perfect time to move into phase 2, which is marketing and social media. So make your social media accounts. Go secure your brand name on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, etc. Pinterest. Take all of them, at least so you have them, even if you don't use them now. And you're going to select one that you're going to use primarily. And can you guess which one you're going to use primarily? Put it in the chat. Everyone who's watching, I'd really like to hear. Which one do you think you should use primarily? Which social media? Picking a specific brand name can be trouble too. How so? When do you think your new product will launch? I also have a new product hitting Amazon first week in November. Good luck on the launch, Paul. I'm aiming for like December 1st. That would be amazing. Probably end of November, December 1st by the latest. Thank you for the good luck on the launch, by the way. Christian, Insta? Depends on where the customer is. Kenny's cheating. Kenny does one-on-one calls with me. Yeah, it depends on where your customer is. That was exactly the answer that I was hoping for. No one of them is the best. Any one of them will work. If you know your customer, you know which platform they're using. No, Kenny, I love it. You have to keep hopping in the chat. That's where I want to see you guys. It's boring for me if I'm just talking. Then it's just like a YouTube video. Great answer. Great answer. Yeah, depends which one your customer is using. So that should be added on here, right? And by the way, in chapter 3 of 12 Months to a Million by Ryan Daniel Moran, which is right here. I don't know if you can see, it might be blurred out. There's a list of questions that are similar to this, but it's a little bit longer. There's like 7 questions. Follow that and answer those. Please do that. It'll make you a better entrepreneur. But it depends where your customers are. That is a great point. Now, once you've built that brand page out for your brand, Someone said Facebook. Yeah, if your customers are on Facebook. Not a lot of fishermen on TikTok. No, there's not a lot of fishermen on TikTok, most likely. Plenty of probably like bodybuilders or like, yeah, there might be. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't use TikTok, but that might be a good area. Anyway, on once you've made your brand page, you want to follow 100 people that are influencers in your space. So that's called your Dream 100. It is a kind of like idea created by Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels in his book Traffic Secrets. Dream 100 is the list of people who have already congregated your customers. Chat's caught up. Good. So Dream 100. Follow only the people who have already congregated your customers. That is such an important principle, right? And it's often overlooked. It's like we think of having to find the customers ourselves. You know, you look at an account like this and you see it's only 200 followers. It's like, yeah, it's hard to gain followers. But what you might not see behind the scenes, which is actually true, is that, by the way, this is not a brand where I'm selling a product. This is just like, I like fly fishing, so I made this page to show you guys examples of social media posting. What you might not see behind the scene is that I'm messaging my Dream 100 and building relationships with them and telling them how much I like their content and asking for insight on things and building my connection with them and my customers. So this is the kind of external face of this is like literally what you look like as a person. And then if you go into your DMs, that's like how you think and how you like how your relationships work with others. So that took me a while. That tip alone will make this whole live stream worth it for every single one of you guys. Seriously, if you're trying to build social media, message the people you want to work with and tell them how awesome they are. And then 3 or 4 questions down, once you've praised them, ask them for their insight on something to do with your business. This is a subtle way of hinting at the fact that you're trying to achieve something that you're passionate about in this space. For me, it was almost like a hack that happened by accident. I designed 2 variations of my product packaging, which, by the way, let's just move to the next step while we're here. Get killer product packaging designed. And on top of that, get several designs made because your first one isn't going to be the best one. Spend $300-400 on your product packaging and have a couple different designs made. What this does, it's so worth it to you. Trust me, because you're going to be able to go to Instagram, go to Facebook and message the people that you're interested in working with that are your influencers and say, hey, I'd really value your opinion. You know, we're a small company trying to start, launch our first product in this area. Can you do me a favor and give me some insight on which packaging you like better as someone who's been in this space for a while? And that's your in, right? That's your first hint at, hey, there might be a relationship here where I can give you something, you can give me something. Would you be willing to test my product? Can you shout out my product? You're hinting at all of that, but you're not saying any of it yet. You're just going, hey, which package design do you like better? And literally, I got offered a free shout out from an account that has 20,000 followers for my brand that I'm building right now 3 days ago because I asked them which packaging they liked better. And I expressed how excited I am to be launching this product. They were like, hey, I can tell that you're, passionate about this. It's awesome. I love this marketplace too. Let me shout out your product. Send me your product. I'll be happy to post about it when you go live. And that's just amazing, right? Because I might make 100 sales from that. And that's a free transaction where my time spent on messaging them was so worth it. And even if they didn't offer that, now there was the in to say, hey, can I pay you to promote my product? And they're actually going to listen and probably do it and probably do it well because they care about, your relationship. All right. So Nathan said, if the product fails, you have to go through the hassle again. A general name you can keep regardless if the product fails or successful. That's more of like a private label way of thinking about things. Because if you're worried about the product failing because it's too specific, well, there's likely other products you can sell related to that customer that they would buy either way. I wouldn't say that. I know what I know what you mean because I used to think that way. But yeah, that's like a private label mentality because you're just thinking, hey, if this product doesn't work, I'll just move on. But we're skipping that completely. We're going, Oh, the product doesn't matter at all. It's the customer in the marketplace and what their enthusiasm is towards that marketplace that matters. So if you've done your research the right way, just because that product wasn't right, well, maybe it's just a factor of that product that wasn't right, because we can see the data. We know they buy this. I just didn't improve it the right way, or I overlooked some, crucial information, and here's how I'm going to change it. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I would just say that a general name is more of a private label strategy, just like Java Products was, like I was selling in 2020. This is like 2 years later how I'm thinking, and that's kind of my point of view now. So once you've created awesome package design and you've reached out to your Dream 100 about the package design, that's your in. Then you're going to be getting 5 to 10 influencers to schedule launch promotion deals with you. So maybe 4 of those are paid, 1 of them is free, 2 of them are free, 3 of them are paid. Whatever that ends up looking like, you want to have day 1 product goes live, someone announces it. And then for the next 3 or 4 days, a different account is announcing it to their unique set of customers that follow them and value their insights and recommendations. So that when you're selling on Amazon, imagine day 1 it goes live, you make 20 sales. Day 2 it goes live, you make 25 sales, and you make 3 sales organically, so you made 28 sales. Day 3 it goes live, you make 17 sales from the promotion, but you make 5 sales organically or sponsored with your PPC, so you made 22 sales. Imagine coming into a marketplace and for the first 5 days straight you're making 20 sales, 25 sales, 21 sales, 32 sales, 35 sales, right? You're just absolutely destroying the algorithm and being like, hey, we sell a lot, push us to the top. No, it's might be a little bit capital intensive. Like if you're going to sell like to people who have 200,000 followers, 1 million followers, their fees are going to be hard to work with. So this works better if you have a specific niche and you have, accounts with 20,000 followers, 70,000 followers, 50,000 followers. Might work a little bit better, might be more affordable, or it might not matter to you. If you have a big budget and you want to make a brand work the right way, schedule shoutouts strategically so that you're driving traffic each specific day. Maybe even 3 people post a launch on day 1, and then 1 day every person for the next week, totaling up to 10 people giving you shoutouts. Let me check my list, make sure we're going over everything here. Thank you guys so much for all the patience. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the live stream. Let me know if you're still watching at this point. Say something in the chat, ask a question, say hey. Let me see you pop up in there. And we'll get on to the last, we're probably 75% of the way through now. Trying to think if there's anything funny or anything that I was doing today that I could tell you guys about. In fact, let me go to this view for a little bit. Still watching? That's what's up, man. Thanks for commenting. Someone put a ghost. I appreciate the ghost. Halloween. Jimmy said, yo, what's going on, Jimmy? Yeah, what are you guys working on? Can I get a quick idea of where you guys are at in the process? Are you selling on Amazon? Are you thinking about selling on Amazon? Etc. When posting content, are you personalizing your content? Well, you said when posting contenting. Okay, you corrected it. Content. When posting content, are you personalizing your content? What do you mean by that? Personalizing it. I don't exactly get the question. Banana Bob is selling 2 products. Bob, do those products relate to the same customer? Still waiting on samples. First timer here. How long have you been waiting for samples? Jimmy said 2 years since the first product launch, brand building, second product launch in 2 weeks. Love that. CPR said, yo, what's up, buddy? Nam said, nowadays many online selling websites available like Walmart, eBay, still worth selling on Amazon. In 2030, well, I can't speak for 2030, but in 2023, it's probably one of the best places in the world to list your product, yes. Bob said the 2 products are completely separate customer focus. Okay. All right, we're going to move back into the video here. Thanks for the live chat update. Love chatting with you guys. Feel free to keep it going. Made amazing packaging. Now we're creating your listing and your shipment, which I'm not going to show. Plenty of good videos on that one. So that's obviously within your Seller Central account. And then the next thing that I do want to show you is creating amazing email marketing strategies. Which really just means make a list, right? I hate making things complicated. I love making things simple, love making things easy. Make a list. I use ActiveCampaign as my provider for kind of hosting my email marketing and building my list out. And to be honest, my business partner does almost all of this. But that's the software we currently use. We've messed around with a couple of them. This one's pretty good. There's MailChimp. There's a couple other ones. There's ones that are natively built into like Shopify. I think maybe they use MailChimp as a plugin, but start capturing emails. Seriously, this is so underrated. Like I say email marketing and people's eyes go like wide open on live calls because they're like, that sounds so like 2005. Email marketing really works. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the best ROI I've ever had on anything I've ever done. Like, yes, it's extremely powerful. You have 50% of a list of 10,000 people opening your emails every other day, 5,000 people looking at your emails every other day, and you're telling good stories and you're giving them valuable insights and tips and solutions and ways to work out problems that they might have. And then maybe once a week, you're making an offer like, hey, we're running this promotion, or don't forget, you can buy our product here. That's going to pay dividends forever. All right, capturing emails, and then build your first funnel and prepare customers for launch. So a funnel, if you guys have no idea what that means, is basically, let's look at it this way. So Amazon would be the end of a funnel. The funnel is everything that comes before Amazon to cold traffic. So I don't just take cold traffic, meaning someone who's never heard of me before, and say, the first thing I say is, go buy on Amazon. They're like, go buy what? Who are you? Stop telling me to buy things. Everything that comes before that might be, hey, I recognize the pain that you're in this area, or I recognize the problem that you have, or that there's a better way to do something that you're doing right now. Let me show you how to do that for free. And then that might be on social media. So there's, we're on social media. We go to a post, something like this. It has 100 likes. Out of those 100 people, those are people, I don't even know how many views it has. Let's see, how many views does that have? Talking about raw impressions here. 5,000 people viewed it, essentially. So it's like, of 5,000 people, 100 decided to engage with it, meaning that they tapped like, and then a couple other people commented. So of that, we might be able to send a portion of them to a link that was in our bio. And the link in our bio might bring them to a place where we offer them something for free and expect nothing in exchange. So my funnel sequence would be like, go to my link in the bio. We just posted a 20-minute or a 10-minute tutorial on how to, swing flies for steelhead and double the number of fish that you're going to catch. Okay, they go watch that. It's actually informative. It's actually valuable. I'm talking about fishing in this example, so that's why I use that. And then at the end of it, I go, down below, we have, the product that we were showing off in this video that makes you catch twice as many fish. You can sign up for, because you watched this video, you could just put in your email down below and get 25% off your first order. We don't give this to anyone except for the people who've seen this, so you're part of the lucky few. So then of that, 1,000 people go to watch that, 200 people put in their email. Now you have the emails of 200 people, 100 people go and use the actual coupon code and they go and buy it. Great. That was like front end conversions. You just immediately from that short sequence converted some people, but you're left with 100 people who were interested, got all the way to that point, gave you their contact information, but didn't buy from you. So at that point, that's where your funnel starts. What do you send them next to get them to buy, right? So you have their email now. Well, now maybe it's another free thing, a tutorial, a tip, and then an ask again on the fourth email. So 4 emails in, maybe you're asking them to buy again. So let me check on the chat really quick and let me get back a little bit into funneling. So when listing a product, it asks for brand name. It says you use your brand name or use generic. Wondering if you should use generic if you're not brand registered yet. I would say it sounds like you're private labeling, and if you're private labeling and using generic, I don't think there's a huge future in doing that. Like, you might be able to make a little bit of money for a little while until someone comes in and offers the same product or more for less. So I would say not take a break. I don't want to tell you how to run your business, but what I'm doing, let me put it that way. My perspective is that's not sustainable anyway. It's not in line with where I want to be in 5 or 10 years, which is owning a $10 million, $40 million company that does a specific thing for a specific customer. So why am I working on it at all? It's just a waste of energy for me. It might make me a little bit of money. So maybe you can do some of that on the side, but for the most part, try and build a real brand that's focused on a specific customer. That's really what this live stream is about. It's like brand building. I'm not trying to like hark on private label either. Like, yes, it still works. You can make some money doing it. I know I did it for 4 years, but this is really far more exciting, far more engaging. I've never been happier to do what I'm working on because I'm building really relationships with real customers, and it's awesome. So personalizing in that you're including yourself in the content. Oh yeah, you can do that if you want to be like the face of the company, but I don't think it's necessary. So do not use generic. Amazon will make your life hell if you try to change your name to a specific brand. That's a good point. Yeah, Nathan, if you want to go ever back from generic, it's going to be difficult. I know that firsthand because I've listed things generically. Doesn't work great. But again, it's like, what's the point? Like, what are you working towards? So let's take a break and insert a new task into this live stream. And like the way I've been working through these steps would be, where do you want to be and what are you trying to build in 5 years? 5 years from now, everything goes to plan. What did you do? What did you achieve? What did you build? Think about that. And it might seem far away. It might seem kind of like, so what? Oh, like I'm not a big goal person. No, but seriously, like you can guide your way into your future. So what is it that you're building? Figure that out and then go, is what I'm doing right now progressing me towards that or regressing me away from that goal? So for me, owning a $10 million brand and getting that acquired, no, private labeling with a generic brand doesn't help me get there. Building a specific brand with real social media and funnels and a few products from a US made manufacturer that makes great products definitely gets me there. So Winter said, okay, so you're allowed to use your brand name even if you're new to selling and aren't brand registered. I don't think so anymore. I think unless you were brand registered, you have to list as generic. There might be a loophole to that though. Okay, product packaging, funneling. Where are we at now? So build your first funnel, prepare for launch. Okay, order bumps. So this is a good one. So you've set up your promotions, you've scheduled promotions, you've figured out who you're selling to, you've built out your email capture, there's a link in your bio to go do the first step of your funnel. You have a few emails that are going out to all your customers that sign up for email access and get a coupon code. Now we're selling. Things are live. How do we get more out of what we're doing right now? Order bumps. Get people to buy more of what you're already selling. Now in digital products like a course, like if I was going to offer you right now, like, hey, I started a new Amazon course. It's $100. Everyone can, get into it. It's amazing. Go get it. But then like you put in your email, you're halfway through checkout, and then I go, wait, do you want to add on an extra 20 videos on how to sell on Amazon for another $50? You'd be like, no, like I thought I was already buying that. And in my head, I've already committed to buying the thing. Why would I want to do that? So in digital products, it doesn't really work great when you just sell more of the same thing. But in physical products, it works amazing. Because if someone's buying creatine and you go, hey, I see that you're buying, you just bought our product for $28. Before you check out, before you hit add to cart, do you want to buy another one for $19.99? We'll give you a discount since you already bought one. A lot of people will say yes, right? Or you're selling really anything in which multiple of it would be valuable. That works great. So that's like an order bump of like, hey, do you just want to buy more for less? So that's something you can introduce into your email sequence, right? Like someone buys it, send them, or in your checkout page, like when people are going to buy, ask them before they actually hit checkout, which this works if you're doing it on your website with Buy with Prime. Do you want to buy more of this for less? So that's one of the final things you can do. And then finally, with all of that, influencers, order bumps, email marketing, selling it organically on Amazon, rank your goal. One of your goals, immediate goals in this year, should be to rank 1 through 3 organically. And maybe even 1 through 7 organically. You want to be somewhere in the top 2 rows, right? Because you might have a premium product that not everyone wants to buy, but you actually do better than most of your competitors when we're talking about profit per unit and total profitability in position 4. Like, you don't have to have number 1, because that might not be the spot that you're going to be, and you might not make the most sales because, like I said, you have a premium product. But you want to get somewhere in the top 2 rows organically. That should be one of your immediate goals. Get there with more shoutouts, more organic sales, the best photography, the best packaging, the best branding, the best understanding of your customer, and then repeat processes, figuring out what your product is. Basically here, what are you going to sell to them? Move on to the next one and do all of this over again. Except for this time, it'll be easier because you'll already know who your manufacturer is. You'll already know what your brand name is. You already know what your logo is. You already have the social media. So really, it's just like, okay, we did the fly tying vise. Let's move on to hooks. We did the fly tying vise. Let's move on to fly tying thread holder, etc. And repeat that process. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to move into a brief Q&A. That was everything I had for you guys that I scheduled out, at least. Feel free to ask some questions in the chat. We'll probably go for another 10 minutes. And I'll answer any questions you have. First of all, here's a good question for you guys. We're only at an hour in. I said I might go for an hour 20, an hour 30. Would you be interested in seeing some product research right now? Let me know in the chat. Like, if we were to restart on this, go up to, step 4, step 5, like how I would pick something right now. Because I gave you kind of like the recipe and the blueprint, but we didn't do something specifically. So I would be willing to show you how I would do that nowadays. Sam said, after you pick your market and how you plan to target them, do you go straight to creating content or sourcing your gateway product? I like that term better. I said keystone product, but gateway product's funny. If you pick your market and plan to target the customers, start sourcing the product, because that's going to take a while. Like, there's going to be unforeseen things like, oh, I got to find a custom package printer, and then I have to have them make the packaging, and I need a design, and like, creating the design takes 2 weeks, and we need a barcode, so we need brand registry. Everything kind of adds up in this way that you'll deal with it as it comes to you and as it hits you. So start the sourcing and be making content while you're waiting for that. However, if you are sure of what you're creating and you just don't have the manufacturer yet, you can start making the content, because you'll find someone to make something for you in that space eventually. So don't let it be the thing that slows you down, so to say. But yeah, feel free to ask more questions, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream, and we covered a lot. Should be posted on the channel. How can I get my customer's email address for email marketing before selling first product? Social media. So you need the traffic flywheel to be spinning already. So they're seeing your posts. They're engaging with you because you're posting valuable content. People are commenting on things. That's at least how I do it. Are you putting website name or QR code on your insert? I don't have an insert card, but my product packaging has a QR code on it. Very good question. Website name's kind of barbaric, because who wants to go type it in? You do a QR code and you do it in a way that's fun. Like, I like to turn it into almost a game, like have them guessing what's on the other side of the QR code. Then it can be extremely good at getting people to scan it with their phones. It's simple. And that, by the way, the QR code leads people back to the top of my funnel. So if you buy the product, you get it. You get the QR code. Well, you probably bought it on Amazon, so I don't have your email address. Now you scan the QR code, brings you somewhere where I can get your email address. Where can I find your PickFu referral code? In the PickFu video. So I think it's called How I Split Test Products for Amazon FBA or something. Or product packaging, product designs, something like that. No one took me up on the product research offer. That's shocking. I'm starting to feel like this might have been a slightly bad time to stream because it's kind of late for everyone around the country. Found it, thanks. All right, cool. Top keyword for my product contains a brand name that is intentionally misspelled, i.e. Krispy Kreme. Would it be safe to use it in the title? Most of my competitors are doing this. I don't get what you mean by intentionally misspelled. So like the customer is not searching for it misspelled. You're intentionally misspelling it so that it doesn't flag the system essentially. I don't know. That's a tough one, right? Because it seems like your product relies on another product's customer base. I mean, you're probably not doing anything wrong technically, but the next brand you build probably make it more reliant on just like you, and they're coming to you for a specific reason. Yes, please provide product research methodology and marketing strategy with one sample now. Yeah, the customers are avoiding flagging the system. Oh, the competitors. Sorry. Competitors are avoiding it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've done stuff like that in the past with private label. All right, we've been going live for like an hour and 10 minutes, which is technically like what I said, 70 minutes in the beginning. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I didn't have too many takers on the product research. I think I like the flow of the stream and all of the things that we went over. We covered a lot. And let me know in the chat right now before we sign off if you'd be interested in doing this again. Maybe I could incorporate this into my content creation for this channel. If you guys like it. I think it's kind of fun. Oh, sorry. My camera shut off. Here we go. Yeah, I just want to... It's a hatch into the upside down. Thanks, very insightful live stream. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate it. It might be a little blank moment again here. Software is wacky, but anyway. Thank you for everyone who was watching. I think we're going to wrap it up here. This should be posted to the YouTube channel as a video after the fact. Yes, please miss some of this, so please make it into a vid in your channel. Will do. Yes, thanks for sharing. Awesome. Love the energy in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be sure to do this again soon. I had a great time. We went over a lot of awesome information. If you could do me a favor, like the stream, even if you're signing off now. Leave a comment so that we could get this video out to more people. Like, I sincerely mean when I say let's get this video out to more people. I want more people to find this so more people can use the information and we can build a better community built around transparency and like what actually works in e-commerce. Not just like what gurus want to try and sell you, the dream of passive income, etc. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.